Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another round of Modern. This time, this is round 3 from our Modern 1K that we held on March 26th. This round, we have Kellen Pastor, who is currently 1-1, playing a Yorion Blink Pile versus Richard Sim, who's also 1-1, playing Goblins. Kellen's deck is very interesting. There's a lot going on in it. There are 3 Timeless Dragon in this deck. I have the deck list in front of me. We're going to experience it together. Kellen always plays really cool and interesting decks, and he didn't write a deck name on his sheet, so I don't really have a baseline to refer to this as. Like, this could be Yorion Blink, Yorion Stoneforge Pile, Yorion Mid-Range. There's 14 planes in the deck. Like, there's a lot going on. I love it, but there's a lot going on. Now, Richard, playing a little bit more of a streamlined deck. Only got 60 cards, you know? He is playing Goblins, Rakdos Goblins combo, which is slowly becoming one of my favorite decks in the format. I joked about, when I went to Star City, SCG Indianapolis, I was joking with my teammates, and I was like, guys, I'm gonna play Goblins. And we couldn't build Goblins, so I didn't play Goblins. But the more and more I looked into the deck, the more I was like, wait, Goblins is actually really cool. If you don't know how it works, is effectively they put conspicuous. Why is my camera shaking? It's mounted to a wall. That's terrifying. They get Conspicuous Snoop onto the battlefield, and then either Violate or cast Mogart Root? Whichever one tutors a card to the top of the deck. Mogart Harbinger, something like that. Because it's from the same line as the elemental one. Not the point. Yeah, Bogart Harbinger. So you cast that, and then you tutor usually Kiki-Jiki to the top of the deck. And then you have Snoop copy Kiki-Jiki, and then... Or Snoop has the activated ability to Kiki-Jiki, and you have that make a copy of Snoop, and you just keep making copies of Snoop over and over and over again, until eventually you have like 30-some goblins, then you make a copy of Mogart, and then go put, I think Munitions Expert is the name of the card on top, which says you can sacrifice it's either 1 or 2 goblins, deal 1 damage to your opponent. And that's the kill combo. And Goblins is a sweet deck. I love it. But back to the actual game and how things are going. Kellen has a Giver of Runes, a Stoneforge Mystic, and an Archon of Myria on the board. Richard has a Token and a Token. The difficult thing about like Goblins is it's pretty cost effective too. The only expensive cards are quite literally, in the main board at least, the 4 Caverns, which will run you a pretty penny, but I mean, at this point, Modern's expensive, right? 4 Caverns, 4 Anti's Hovel, because that card hasn't been reprinted in a while, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it in Double Masters too. And then Aether Vial, which is another card I wouldn't be surprised to see in Double Masters too. Vial probably more so than the Hovel, but here's to hoping. I would like to pick up some Anti's Hovels, but they're a little pricey at the moment for a card that only goes in one deck. Alright, so Richard is making a lot of tokens here. Kellen is going to put a... I almost said put a Stoneforge in off of Cauldron. Put a Cauldron Complete into play off of Stoneforge Mystic. There will be a question asked by Richard, I think next turn. About how... Actually, it might be right now. About how Cauldron's effect works. So, when Cauldron blocks a creature, if it does damage to that creature, there will be a triggered ability that will exile that creature. However, since Cauldron is a 5/5, say it blocks like a 3/3, it will kill that card via damage first, or it'll do the damage and then state-based will check, and then the card will die before the trigger goes on the stack. Which is not how Cauldron was probably intended to be played, but that is how that works.
basically, if you don't die from the damage, you die from the ability.
I will block Cauldron Complete out then with the Warlock.
So it's getting blocked by a small guy. It's going to die,
So yes.
and then not get exiled. Because here the trigger will happen, but there's no... That creature that blocked it, that it dealt damage to is no longer on the board. Hoorah. We had that... the first time we had that rolling come up was at a Legacy local, and I was very confused. Because I never thought about it. But it makes sense.
No, I don't think I have. Was that first damage then?
Actually, I think Kellen was there for that. Kellen might have been the one who was like, yeah, this is actually how it works.
Oh,
And I'm
yes.
like, oh, okay, cool.
Sorry, I did yours. 14, you're at 19. I updated your life total, not mine.
Yeah, got a fetch out here.
Go to 18.
What basics is he using? Those look really cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Charming Prince.
Let's just start listing out some of the cool cards we see in Kellen's deck. Let's see if I can... There's a Charming Prince. Charming Prince is always cool. I don't like Death and Taxes as a deck in Legacy. I find it boring. But I do like Charming Prince as a card, and I know they play that sometimes. Alright, Goblins. I know there's definitely somebody out there that it's like made upset by saying Death and Taxes is a boring deck, but that's my opinion. So yeah, we have 3 Timeless Dragons in the deck. So with Thraben Inspectors, I'm about that. A Walking Ballista, a Lion Sash, a Ranger Captain of Eos, which is a wonderful card. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I can't tell what this one card is. It's Idyllic something. I thought it was Idyllic Tutor, but that does not look like the word tutor. I'm not sure. And then sideboard-wise, pretty regular. I guess the most off the beaten path stuff he has is 1 copy of Blood Moon and 3 copies of Magus of the Moon. I assume he just does not want to lose to Amulet Titan.
Activate. Yep.
And while I understand that, I am hurt by that.
So flip to Charming Prince.
Right, so a Sword of Fire and Ice has been put into play off of the Stoneforge Mystic, and then we're going to attach it to that Charming Prince. Or at least attempt to.
Cast Munitions Expert. I will target the Charming
It's going to
Prince
flash in
response
a
to the-
Munitions Expert here.
I'm going to choose the color red.
Then I'm going to give protection from red.
I have protection from Magus.
Sword of Fire and Ice, very good card in this matchup.
Going to attack with
When, you know, Richard's entire deck is red.
3.
So that is 4.
Besides Smokart, Harbinger, and
10, 11.
maybe one other goblin.
And then there is 2 more damage.
There's probably a couple more that looks like mono black, but still. Kellen has protection for days between the Giver and Sophie, and Cauldron just being a card.
I'm going to go to 17.
Sure.
Kellen's sleeves are really cool, actually. I was noticing that while we were doing the recording.
+1/+1
This is
counter
really cool.
onto the germ token.
Yep, you got it.
Alright, Richard's just going to scoop it up.
Expecting the Idyllic Green.
And we'll be going to game 2 in just a second. But we're going to look at the sideboards, because again, I have the deck list in front of me. The beauty of 1K tournaments.
White sources.
It requires 3 planes.
Alright, so with Richard on the play, Richard's sideboard consists of 2 Relic Regeneratives, 1 Emrakul the Eon's Torn, 3 Furies, 1 Goblin Ringleader, 1 Goblin Trashmaster, 1 Warren Weirding, 2 Magus, 1 Blood Moon, 2 Void Mirror, 1 Shatterstorm. I feel like the Furies are like the only thing you bring in here, right? Kellen's deck's not really it's not a graveyard deck. I'm not familiar with what the Goblins do that are in the sideboard. I'm assuming it's just to go into the aggro plan more. The Magus and the Blood Moon aren't good. Kellen's deck plays 14 planes. It just looks like it looks like Death and Taxes. Yeah, Plague Taxes. Void Mirror does nothing here. Don't know if he's playing Solitude. Is he playing Solitude? He has to. Yeah, I was like, he has to be. So it hits a Solitude, but not really the matchup that you're going to bring that in for. Alright. And then for Kellen, we have Yorion, Giant Killer, 2 Sanctifier Invec, 1 Blood Moon, 3 Magus, 2 Rest in Peace, 1 March of Otherworldly Light, 1 Burnt and Forged Ender, and 2 Path to Exile. I would imagine he's bringing in the Sanctifier Invex, more protection from red stuff. Burnt and Forged Ender is probably pretty good too. And if he wanted to, he could bring in like the March of Otherworldly Light. But I don't know if he needs to. Not playing any marches in the main board. That card's I don't play white in Modern very often. And when I do, my removals, like I kind of just default to like Prismatic Ending. And even post Kamigawa, I think I'm still more a fan of Prismatic Ending than I am March. However, March is an extremely good card against Urza Saga decks because if they, Saga on 1 and you went first, you could just blow them out. But yeah, I was like, Helen might just not have had room. There's so much in this deck list.
So, Rich, you going first game 2?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Alright, folks, as I seem to always ask between rounds, what are you playing in Modern right now? What deck has caught your fancy? Sorry for that. I've been jamming a lot of elementals lately. I'm a big fan of Risen Reef as a card. It's a lot of fun to play with. The rest of the elementals are also pretty fun, but specifically Risen Reef. It's a nice change of pace from my usual
Be careful when you're picking.
Murktide
Yeah,
/ Titan decks.
You've got a whole bunch of cards, and plenty I did not see.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that. I'll try and look away as I'm
Richard giving that Goblins deck a good, not Goblins deck, Yorion deck a good shuffle.
You saw the surprising card already.
So about 80 cards. I just
Yeah.
shuffling it. Oh, shuffling it.
I think it's pretty fun.
Not a fan.
So I play it.
I play minimal fetches
Like,
in my commander decks,
It only gives the counter
Because I hate shuffling.
Untapped, it only comes to play untapped.
but Yorion, you
And
don't
it
have
only
that
comes to
luxury.
play after its own abilities if I clear more.
You
plays.
don't have that luxury. You play like 14 fetches in a lot of the decks.
Yeah.
Like I think 5 color Link plays 14 fetches right now. They're also a red and 6 deck, but
Mulligan.
looks like Kellen is
Genius.
going to a mulligan.
My one lander was going to see me just sit
But if
there
he'll
and
be able
die.
to piece out any of those sideboard cards, if you put them in or not. There's an offer in the cut. Richard giving it a shuffle. Bless his heart. He's more tenacious than I could. He's shuffling his
Sorry
opponent's
with the Cauldron
80 card deck.
thing. I was
I respect
trying to
that.
give you the correct information without outright saying.
I just
it,
don't have
but
the hands for it.
correctly, The question. Sure.
yeah, and that's what I was confused. Like the word
To the
isn't
point that
exactly-
That's why I kept on saying
guarantee
triggered ability.
the first time I play Yorion-
Puts you in that, like, if your guy dies before the triggered ability resolves, it already dies.
It's already dead.
But Yorion Elementals, I'm going to accidentally throw the deck just while shuffling, and it's going to launch cards everywhere.
We are going to run this and
One to the bottom.
putting one to the bottom.
Okay. Kellen's going to keep them all.
All right.
And we're going to lead with a
Unnamed Goblin.
Cavern on Goblins into an Aether Vial.
Yes.
Go ahead.
File goes to 1.
Didn't tap the Cavern, but it's okay. He didn't try to... he just forgot.
Anti-Sobble.
There's an Anti-Sobble, revealing a Goblin,
Play Marvel Rush.
That's fine.
and then playing... Oh, what the hell is the name of that
Go
one?
to 19. I want to get survive the Mardu trial.
I don't know. I have the deck list in front of me. So I have a digital version of the Goblins deck because I was pricing it out. I was interested. MTG Goldfish is a wonderful site. Mog War Marshal, that's what it is. Echo, when it enters the battlefield or dies, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token.
Draw.
Callan's going to fetch a Supply Triumph.
I'm going to go to 18, cast Sanctifier.
And cast a Sanctifier in Vec.
Protection from red and black, right?
Yes.
End turn. I'm the Flash and Mob Fanatic. Upkeep.
We're going to violin a Mog Fanatic.
It'll not die.
Just putting more things on the board.
Oh, gets
I
exiled.
think Red Permanent would be not. Basically, it gets exiled as a replacement.
The Black
effect.
Red Permanent, we put Black Red Permanent spell or card not on the battlefield. We put into a graveyard exile instead. It says not on the battlefield. Or on the top one.
Black Red Permanent spell or card not on the battlefield.
Oh, okay. Or card not on the battlefield. Sorry.
So
I don't get the token.
Because yours die triggers.
It's exiles.
The die triggers doesn't happen because I have a Sanctifier. Yeah.
Alright. Vials now at 2.
Okay.
Drop a turn.
Yeah.
I'm going to play Bloodstained Mire.
We're just going to play Bloodstained Mire. Beautiful OG Bloodstained Mire too, and it's signed. The OG allied fetches are just very, very nice looking.
I'm going to draw a card.
They look, and I will say, they're words. I'm stuttering. They are better looking than the MH2 retro frame ones. I don't know what it is about it.
We're going to.
Because the art looks fine in the retro foil. There's a prismatic ending on that Aether Vial. What is it? I think it's the color saturation on the border. I think it's a little bit lighter than the original ones, so it just looks a little off to me. Or it's the other way around. It could be a little bit darker, but I don't know.
We're going to cast Charming Prince.
Callan's gonna fetch out another basic.
Sure. I'm going to choose the Scry 2 mode.
Okay, he's gonna cast a Charming Prince here. And Charming Prince has a couple different modes that he can use. I think there's only one that he's going to use right now.
Okay. Can I resolve the Scry 2?
Yes, you may.
So he's gonna probably Scry 2 here. But the other two are Scry 2, gain 3 life, or exile another creature, and then bring it back at the beginning of the next end step. So I imagine Callan just wants to help fix his draws a little bit.
I am not going to attack because you're munitions expert. I think I like those more important than yours right now. Could be wrong.
Tap.
Yeah.
We'll draw.
Okay, he draws another Aether Vial here. Anti-Hobble coming in tapped.
Play Ether Vials.
The Vial.
Your turn.
I'm going to go to 15.
Okay, Sacred Foundry. Tapping 4.
X equals 2.
Say Walking Ballista on 2. I'm just going to shoot down 2 creatures here. Or have the ability to shoot down 2 creatures, but deck for 2 with the Sanctifier. Protection from red, quite good against the... Protection from red-black is very good against the red-black deck. I forgot for a second that Sanctifier also had protection from black. Hey, Uncle Iroh, thank you for following. I appreciate you, and we at Alter Universes appreciate you greatly. As well as we appreciate every single one of you that's watching this video, but I get to do my little spiel since someone followed during the Twitch stream. We stream every week on Twitch when our internet allows us to. Otherwise, we just record it and we do commentary, post it on YouTube, but that part happens regardless. You can follow us on Twitch at AlternateUniversesLive. Like I said, we do Modern just about every Monday, barring some circumstances.
Very nice.
And some Legacy on Fridays. It really depends on whether or not I play Legacy. But, yeah.
You go to 13.
Alright, Sword of Fire Knight's getting equipped to that Sanctifier and Vec, and this is going to be...
Card.
This is going to be a beating. Sanctifier's now a 4/4, and then it can shoot other things down when it attacks, or just shoot Richard. Kung gets to draw a card too.
Attack.
Richard's going to take 4.
9. I'm
Then
going
the
to
Sword Trigger.
Mock Fanatic.
They're just shooting him for 2.
I'll respond.
Did a flash and you missed. Yeah. I can't talk. It's gonna flash in a goblin. Kill the Charming Prince. It's gonna suck. The Mog Fanatic, deal damage to Kellen.
I go to 14. I do not draw a card. I'm going to play Ranger Captain of Eos.
Yeah. Plays a Ranger Captain of Eos out. This gets to tutor up any 1 or less.
Get and cast Brent Forge Tender.
Any creature with power 1 or less? It's been so long since I've cast Ranger Captain. He turns out the Burnt and Forge Tender.
Is that resolved?
Is it CMC 1 or less? Might be CMC. It's CMC 1 or less, I think. It's been so long.
I'm going to pick here and here.
This is gonna pop, shoot 2 things down.
I'm going to cast Charming Prince.
Charming Prince is going to flicker Ranger Captain.
And get to search again.
And stab. Trigger.
Can tutor out another card.
I'm going to get a Raven Inspector. Go ahead.
Goes and gets a Thraben Inspector.
Yep.
File's gonna go to 3. And Richard's gonna scoop it up. Colin's gonna take it 2-0 with Yorion. Blink taxes over Rakdos Goblins. Thank you for watching, folks. Have a great rest of your day, and we appreciate you all. Goodbye.